Safety car period comes to an end. Chris Short's car out of the gravel, race being led, championship being led by Jerome de Sadelier. But the man to watch now is number 4, Dominic Jackson, the reigning champion. He's edging his way forward. He was involved in the incident with Chris Short, however, and so now the cars accelerate back under green flag conditions down towards Redgate. There is Jackson on the inside line, looking to come up to have a go at Joe Stables now, and he should do it coming into Hollywood. Through on the inside line goes Dominic Jackson, gains the place. So every lap it seems he's edging his way forward. It's looking strong for him this, but right now he's being outscored, outraced by Jerome de Sadelier as the cars head through the old hairpin again. Jerome de Sadelier, race leader, he and Dominic Jackson now with 7 race wins between them this season. Their look about to go into the right-hander of McLaren's is Jackson, and he's closing onto the tail of Chris Preen. Dominic Jackson, whose car is one of the many run by the RAW, or Raw Motorsports squad, edging forward, creeping up, ready to make the next move on the run down to the chicane. Jerome de Sadelier, though, has had a really good restart lap here. He was down 5 seconds in race 2 for abusing track limits. Now on a greasy surface, he wants to be absolutely inch perfect and not risk that again. He's bolted away on this restart lap. There, look, you've got Preen versus Jackson, but Joe Stables is coming back at them as they head over the line. Joe, one of the very few privateers, runs the car himself. Over the timing line he comes. Dominic Jackson lines up to have a go on the inside, breaks late, goes ahead of Elliot Goodman. To be fair, Elliot gave him lots of racing room there, so Dominic Jackson goes through, picks up the place, and as the race wears on, it's interesting, isn't it, to see how far up the order he is getting. He started 15th, and he's just working his way steadily closer and closer and closer to Jerome de Sadelier. But he still needs to get ahead of him. He will serve less time in the pits. He's got 10 seconds as against the 20 of de Sadelier. Jack Constable there is under attack. Look from Marcus Clutton as they turn through. This takes them now up towards Coppice Corner. And as they are squabbling over second spot, it's enabling Jerome de Sadelier to pull further away now. Here they come down to the chicane. Flick through the right and the left, and now up over the timing line once again. So the race leader goes by. That is the hard-charging Jerome de Sadelier, and second and third places together with Jack Constable and Marcus Clutton squabbling amongst themselves. There's pride at stake here rather more than anything for the championship. Marcus Clutton, another of these underfunded, underrated drivers. He's excelled in these cars. He's been a winner in European GT4 in the past in the Chevron, but never seems to have a full budget to do a full season. But put him in anything and he delivers. Out of the old hairpin, tighter line employed by Marcus Clutton, and a little bit wider went Jack Constable, but often on the outside you'll find a bit more grip, and it did work for him. So Jack Constable stays ahead now on the run up through Schwantz Curve. Into McLaren's once again. Clutton breathing down the neck of that second placed car. All of these identical, radical SR3 RSX chassis, and Jerome de Sadelier leads the way, builds that gap which he needs to do ready for the pit stops. Lower down the order there, Chris Preen coming under attack again. Look now from 98 of Joe Stables. And another good squabble is developing as they round Coppice Corner. Four of them as one. Elliot Goodman heading the queue, but he's under attack from Preen, who goes to the inside line, goes through, finds the drier part of the road. Goodman runs a little bit wide. Stables comes up to have a go at him. There's also the red and white car of Brian Cordwell there as Dominic Jackson comes into the pit lane, and he is going for slicks, is he? Let's see. Looks as though that is going to be the answer. The car very muddy indeed. Out of the old hairpin now goes Jerome de Sadelier. So the teams will be monitoring what's going on this pit stop. Dominic Jackson blasts away, the road drying all the time, but he might have to be a little bit careful for the first couple of laps just while those tyres get up to temperature. He rejoins on track ahead of Chris Preen, look. Preen picks him off. He is already up to speed as the race leader comes in now. So, Jerome de Sadelier is in, and the 360 Racing team is going to put him on 2 slick tyres, look. They run on Hankook rubber, incidentally. There is Jackson ahead of Brian Cordwell, and Jackson scrabbles into the chicane. We've not yet gone past that tipping point where it's good enough for the slicks to outpace the wets, but we're almost there, looking at lap times. Right, the pit stop still cycling through for Jerome de Sadelier. Left rear goes on. Only allowed 2 people to work on the car. So Jackson now looks like he's going to be able to gain. His pit stop was always going to be 10 seconds shorter anyway. De Sadelier should be on his way down the pit lane. Is he? No. Concerned faces. There's a problem. Problem on the left rear corner. Look, the wheel won't sit properly. They can't get the nuts tightened up. And this is a disaster for de Sadelier. He blasts away now. But that one pit stop could have cost him the championship. Down the pit lane he comes. Now the pressure is really on. He's got a whole heap of places to make up here. So Jerome de Sadelier back into the race, but that will have cost him a whole heap of ground. And another one off the road. That is 52 Mark Richards. Safety car board comes out. Safety car is deployed then. Others serve their pit stop, look, as the safety car period gets underway, including 24 Peter Brooks. He goes for slicks. Martin Verity is in as well. Another of the 360 Racing drivers. Driver change in 33. Anton Zakharov and Amir Faizulin's car. Now then, the boards are there. That's the safety car, but it's picked up the wrong car. It has picked up the earlier leader, Jerome de Sadelier, not the current leader. So de Sadelier is way past, but he's going to be at the back of the queue, and depending on when the race restarts, he might even lose the best part of a lap in terms of time. Jack Constable is rejoining. The Headlands have switched over as well. Father and son, Chris and Dan. So right now then, as the race is set to get underway, Jack Constable is the race leader as he blasts over the timing line, but you can see how strung out the field has become, and that means that Jerome de Sadelier has got a huge amount of work to do, and it's going to put him, is it behind Dominic Jackson? Let's see. Well, no, there he goes through the corner, so de Sadelier is still ahead of Jackson at the moment. Jerome de Sadelier is ahead for the moment. Is he going to stay there, however? Downhill they drop. Jerome de Sadelier with work to do. Now, in fact, just looking at this, he's ahead of Jackson on the road, but he will have lost a lap, won't he? Because of the pit stop and that safety car confusion. So yes, de Sadelier, in real terms, is a lap down now. So he's ahead of Jackson on the road, but Jackson is better placed in the race. Dominic Jackson, therefore, is on target for the championship. So here they come. De Sadelier trying to wriggle his way through the pack, but he's got to unlap himself and then push. Well, here he comes, down to the chicane. Tries to go around the outside there. Look of Chris Preen, but to no avail. Down they come into Redgate corner. Preen to the inside of Goodman as they swing their way now onto the top of the Craner curves. Second and third they run. So there, de Sadelier dives to the inside at Hollywood, running fourth on the road, but in real terms a lap down. Down to the Craner curves. It's Marcus Clutton behind him. Clutton has not given up yet either. His pace is good. And there is Dominic Jackson. Got Brian Cordwell lower down the order. Number 66 there going out of Redgate ahead of the Headlands. They, of course, run in the team category as there. De Sadelier comes up to try and get through the traffic, and he's all sideways and around he goes. De Sadelier's race goes from bad to worse now. He's off the road and have picked up a little bit of damage potentially as well. Jerome de Sadelier scrabbles back towards the circuit, but that has cost him even more time. A bad pit stop and then a spin, and suddenly the championship dream is over. Now he's got to get off that wet grass as well. So Jack Constable leads the way. Up into second is about to go seemingly Marcus Clutton at the expense of Chris Preen here. Dominic Jackson runs fourth, but that's enough to give him the championship. Clutton goes second, look, coming out of Redgate. Jackson sees all that and he's going for it now. Marcus Clutton second, Dominic Jackson closing up as well, ready to have a go for third place. What a dramatic way to end the championship season. You've got a feel for Jerome de Sadelier though, as he heads down to what is going to be now a rather distant 11th place, a lap adrift. There is the race winner, Jack Constable, out of the chicane. He makes the run up towards the timing line, and Jack Constable wins the final race of the weekend. That is a second victory of the weekend for him here. It's been a wonderful weekend, but not as good as the weekend of Dominic Jackson, because he will crown the season as the champion. Dominic Jackson comes over the timing line in third position, and that is enough to win the 2019 Radical Challenge and, of course, make it back-to-back titles. A race win for Jack Constable ahead of Marcus Clutton, Dominic Jackson third from Chris Preen, Joe Stables fifth, Spencer Bourne in sixth place. 11th, Jerome de Sadelier. He took the fastest lap of the race, but little good did it do him, because he lost the lead of the championship with that slow pit stop and the spin, and it means that a delighted champion, double champion now, is Dominic Jackson. It is 2 in a row, back-to-back titles for him.
Got it.
Got it, well done. Good luck.
Maybe done.
It is a very happy Dominic Jackson, deservedly so. Let's have a look then at the solo challenge standings. Dominic Jackson, the champion from Jerome de Sadelier. Jack Constable third. John McLeod fourth ahead of Elliot Goodman, with Spencer Bourne in sixth. Marcus Clutton seventh at the end of the season. Chris and Dan Headlam, however, win the team's standings, but no doubt that it's a delighted Dominic Jackson.
Yeah, it was a pretty fraught race. We had something of everything throughout, and I decided it was just turning to a drying track, so I decided to pit earlier than the other guys, get my slicks on, hopefully give them another minute or two running around the track. Came out and it was, we called it just right, I think.
We went out on the wets to start with, obviously made a bit of a difference, and the car felt really good, so it's just kind of limiting the gap to Jerome, and then we come in, we pitted at a perfect time. The team did a really good job with that, and we managed to get slicks and nearly a lap in front at that point behind the safety car, so all I had to do was maintain it from there and not fall off.
It's been a great season of racing, and there's more of the same next year.